rolling here for today. I'm going to do a quick sound check after the video starts feeding, and then I'll do a screen share so that we can capture the action on the recording. Which browser window am I in? That's going to be that one. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and do a backup with Camtasia, which is where. Okay, so we're good on that. We'll start camera. Getting mic should be good. All right, let's record. Wait for this to queue up. Okay, so we should be good. I'm not seeing anybody having trouble getting in today that I need to help out. So we might be in good shape just to get going. I am going to try to do my best job with my voice today. I've had a pretty nasty cough and cold for over a week now, and if I wind up coughing before I get the microphone muted, I apologize. I'll try to keep it somewhat reasonable, but we should be good to go. So let's get some questions up here in the chat box and get going. Quick recap for anybody who's not been on my office hours before. I tend to kind of cover any and everything OMG, whether that's kind of specific SEO technology or the details of anchor text or URL or whatever, all the way out to any kind of money getting and business strategy or mindset or whatever you want to talk about. So depending on kind of how the session shapes up, it kind of winds up being a different kind of different topic every session usually. So we tend to go about 90 minutes, give or take, depending on how many people we have on, how many questions we have. So if you do have some questions, let's get those loaded in there so I can can get rolling helping you guys out. So hopefully everybody had a good Thanksgiving. We recently had a new addition to our family, so we got home recently and just kind of getting settled in. So everything's good. It's pretty nice to have all my girls under one roof again. So it's all good stuff. Okay, question from Kara here. Do Google business pages have to be named exactly the business name, even if not ideal for SEO? So I would name it what the business name actually is if you can, because what that's going to do is set your name, address, phone number up and have that be the central kind of place where that's going to be defined for your SEO moving forward. So even if it's a carpet cleaner company, for instance, and its name was, XYZ Health, no keywords in the name at all, still have it named, what the actual business name is. Because if you don't, then the citations that you build moving forward will not match up properly, and you will have an actual harder time ranking it for your keyword categories. Those keyword categories are going to be defined by you in that business listing with that pick list where you can choose kind of the categories of business that it is. So that's going to be one of the things that defines your page. So even if the name or keywords are not in the business name, I would still stick with the business name. Okay, seems like they just do the Google Plus account. How should I handle this with clients? Yeah, with clients, I would just set it up in their business name. They can link it over from a Google Plus account. One of the things Google is doing as kind of part of their overarching authority on the internet is trying to classify everything. So they want to know if a Google Plus account is a person, or if it's a business, or if it's a person that owns a business, or if it's a person that works for a business, for instance. Those are all different kinds of entities on the internet. And Google is moving more and more toward wanting to know not only that there is an entity that gets a lot of attention, but what that entity is, whether it's a person or a business. So that's one of the differentiators between just a regular personal business, a regular personal Google Plus page and Google My Business listing. That's kind of one of the things that they're going to be probably rolling out more and more as things, as time goes by, and some moves with kind of some larger classifications of data and things like that come out over the next few years, probably. And then seems like they link. Yeah, absolutely. They link together. Google likes to know what related to something else. Like I talked about, if there was an owner of a business, it would like to know that. If it's an employee of a business, it would like to know that. If it's a business that is a wholly owned subsidiary of a different business, or if it's a kind of a sister relationship, it likes to know all those things. So that's what those different kinds of accounts within Google are set up for, to really kind of cover the bases on the different kinds of relationships that it's interested in at the moment. Okay, another follow-up question here from Kara. Thanks. What's the difference between Google reviews and citations? Many rookie questions to follow. I'm sorry. No, totally cool, Kara. I like that you're asking them. So a lot of times there's kind of some fuzziness in those foundational terms, or really what things are. David Mills talks a lot about it in that recent breakthrough stacking series that he put out. And what we really want to make sure that we do is get rid of all of that ambiguity or that fuzziness in definition. So a review is something that will be attached directly to your Google My Business page. So someone would go to leave a review specifically for that business, having visited it or talked to the person on the phone or whatever it might be. So that's going to be attached to the actual listing. A citation is just another occurrence of the business name, address, and phone number on some other site in the internet. So there are specific sites that are kind of set up to be directories and places where these citations exist most frequently. And those are places where we want to put citations so that when the Google bot, crawls around the internet, it finds other places where that name, address, and phone number occur. And then it gives more credit to the business listing in the Google My Business platform. So if it's out there crawling around and it finds a name, address, phone number in a Facebook fan page for a business, and it finds another name, address, phone number in the yellow pages, and another name, address, phone number in Yelp, it's going to say, oh yeah, this page is actually, or this business, this listing, this entity is getting a lot of, kind of real estate out there, and people that are paying attention to, the fact that it has, a footprint on the internet, a good footprint. So that's what a citation is. It's just another place where the name, address, phone number is mentioned on the internet that Google will look to kind of substantiate its information based on. So, all right, here we go. Some questions rolling now. All right, Rob, can you discuss any of your on-page video optimization? Also, do you laser target keywords or blanket for a variety? What I tend to usually do, Rob, is, I use the keyword planner tool, or, its derivatives, whether it's TLKT or, Market Samurai or whatever you want to use. It's all based kind of on the same data, or it starts with the same data. So I'll use it to get an idea of, how much search volume there might be. There's almost always going to be more than what Google tells you, but I'll use those places as a start, but I don't necessarily let it telling me that there's no search volume detract me from actually making a page or a video specifically about a certain, service or product or something like that. So what I do with on-page video optimization, so there's two different things that question could mean. One is going to be actually on your YouTube channel or on your Vimeo channel on that page, on the URL that's on their hosted video server. So I pretty much follow exactly what Greg teaches and talks about. I make sure to have a good description that's going to have, several variations and synonyms of the keyword I want to rank for in that description. The title of the video is going to have my keyword in it, preferably at the beginning of it. I usually try to link not only to my money website, but several videos that are related to it within the description area. If it's a geo-based search term, I will definitely tag that video as having been created in that area, the geographic area. So pretty much exactly like what Greg talks about in the video ranking SEO section. If you're talking about having a video embedded, so if you've got a video and it's ranked, or you're using some things to get it ranked, whether it's PBN links or some kind of software links to get that video ranked, another thing you can do is embed that video on your website. If your website is about that same topic, I do that quite a bit. And if I do that, I follow the exact same steps to get the video ranked. And then I just combine that really with on-page SEO. So getting a good URL that fits the keyword without being over-optimized for it. And beyond that, just making sure the title tag is not going to create an over-optimization issue. But it actually does pass some good, I guess, suggestions or hints to Google about what the page is about. So that's how I do that. All right, Jason A. Fletch, what's the best way to start to do day job killing? Is it best to create my city guide and rank it, then go after a client, say like a plumber, based on the page then? You absolutely could, and it sounds like a pretty good strategy, Jason. It's kind of one of those situations where there's not really a best way, but there might be a best way for you. It depends a little bit on kind of where your breakthroughs are and your understanding is, and where your background is, really where you can communicate the best and most effectively. So with me, I just kind of went right out to my subs and sold them leads because we were all familiar with that business model. But if I come from a different world, I probably would have done things differently. So what you described there sounds very appropriate. yeah, if you've got a My City Guide site ranking, it's going to be pretty easy to get somebody interested just based on the fact that you've already shown you can do what you do. So yeah, just figure out kind of what traffic those pages are getting and then charge them, you know, kind of a lease price based on that. Sounds like a really good model. Pretty simple too. So, all right, Jason, is it okay to go with my county guide? Or is that too broad? No, not too broad at all, Jason. But one of the reasons that we have city in here, depending on where you live in the country, some people tend to search by city names. And if you've got the actual city name in your domain name, you're going to get kind of some bonus for that. If you've got the keywords or at least one of the keywords existing in the actual domain name, not just the URL, that's usually a pretty big influencer on SEO. So is it okay to go? Oh, same question, just got repeated somehow. Okay, Kara, does one link from a PBN boost the whole site, or will it just boost the page or keyword? It will boost the whole site. It will give most of its influence, though, to the keyword that the anchor text is, you know, kind of defined as, and then actually to the page where it's pointing. But it will also lift up the entire domain. Something the Network Empire people call like buoyant domain authority, where one link comes in on one page, but it actually kind of lifts up and gives some credibility to the entire site, and that does exist. So it's just not where most of the influence is. All right, Jason, I want to rank my Facebook business page along with Yelp, LinkedIn. Should I shoot PBNs to do this? You absolutely can. Yeah. With these really high domain authority sites like Facebook, Yelp, and LinkedIn, we can use links of lower quality. It doesn't mean you have to, though. So if you want to use, you know, GSA or Magic Submitter, even Fiverr, depending on, you know, making sure that you get some that are quality, you can actually use those to link to those really high domain authority profile sites, I call them. You can also do domain authority stacking, which is something that Jimmy does. You can use your PBNs. You can use other social activity to link over to them. You can use actually within the platform, you can just go around and follow or comment on a lot of different like other people's profiles. That'll give you a link back on those sites to your own site to build your page authority and things like that. So those are all options for you to build the page authority of those actual profile pages, Jason. All right, CC5, in your last office hours, you said, but I don't know what you meant. Let's see what we have here. Hopefully I can remember. Okay, shorteners that Twitter uses will likely strip those out of the actual link pointing to your content, but they're there even if it's a second tier back. In regard to putting in anchor text, can you elaborate what will be stripped out? What's left to be there? Yeah, so if you, like if you're on Twitter, let me open up another little tab here and show you. So if you go to twitter.com, and I was going to say office hours for OMG at HTTP, whoops, joshuafletcher.com. Okay, so if I wanted to shorten this, where is the shortener button? I use Twitter so rarely. I can't find it. Anyway, if you send this out through a shortener service, like through Bitly or something like that, it's not going to have anchor text. I'm not sure exactly if this will accept like an href tag for anchor text or not. But if it does go through a shortener, each iteration of link to a link to a link, which is kind of what the domain authority stacking is about, will kind of strip out some of the influence of that anchor text. That anchor text is just kind of a hint to Google about what that link is about, whether it's no follow, whether it's do follow, whether it has anchor text, all that kind of stuff, whether it has hover text. Those are all things that kind of come into play. So like this one, this is an Owly shortener. So this goes through Owly. Like if I click on it, it goes through Tico. I don't know if you saw that flash up above, and then it finally lands on Hootsuite right here. Okay, so that actually, when I clicked on this one link, it went through 2 different locations. It went through, yeah, Tico, T.co, which is Twitter's shortener, and then it also went through Bitly, or Owly, I'm sorry. So that's what I meant by that. If you use a link like this, like if I tweet this right now, if you see this, if you can watch the address bar, it should go through T.co when I click on it. So you saw, I don't know if you saw T.co flash up here. Every link that you post on Twitter is actually a link to another link. So that's how that works, and what I was talking about last session. Okay. Yeah, so anchor text I use as rarely as I can get away with. So most of the time I just try to leave my my links as just kind of no follow, or just naked URLs, just because I want to see what I can accomplish with just kind of some signals and my on-page SEO. And then I use my anchor text to kind of really be like a sniper with it. So, you know, if I, like what I did here, you know, on Twitter, I would just do this as a link, which is, you know, my URL here. And then if I needed anchor text, I would use that later. So, oops, what was I here? All right, CC5, please explain a naked URL versus any other kind of URL. Okay, yeah. So naked URL is like what I showed here on Twitter. This is just, you know, HTTP. This is just for joshuafletcher.com, right? So this right here, click here for coaching sessions. That's anchor text. If I'm trying to rank for, whoops, let's see if I can just highlight this. Oh, come on now. If I was just trying to rank for these keywords, click here for coaching sessions. This would be a way to use this anchor text to rank this. When I click on it, this is now the target page. So this URL right here, if it was for click here for, you know, coaching sessions, if this page, I wanted to try to rank it for that term, that would be how I do that. So that's anchor text. Anything that is actually in text here, that's not the URL, is going to be anchor text. So since this is just actual regular words, that's anchor text. This is actually regular words, that's anchor text. The actual URL that it's pointing to is this whole mess of stuff up here. So if I wanted just a naked URL link, it would be just this, all the stuff in the address bar. Whoops, looks like I left the session. So let's go back through the page for today. The video actually makes some sense. Okay, there we go. Should be good. Let me get rid of that. Sign back in real quick. Okay. All right, Kara, when embedding random videos, if two videos have obviously the same domain authority but different page authority, will the higher PA give you more oomph on your site? Yeah, it will, Kara. Okay, Rob, I realize that the new best practice method is to only link for your PBN to one money site. Would you also link to an associated video if you were trying to rank for the same PBN post? Yeah, I definitely use my PBNs to either embed videos in, which is a type of link, or just directly link out with a contextual link to a video as well. So, you know, best practice is to link you know, from a PBN to a money site once, you know, but you can still use that PBN to link to other money sites you have. So what's going to wind up happening with kind of some of the things that have happened recently on that footprint issue is that we're probably going to wind up with more powerful PBNs and more money sites, which is good for us. It means we don't have to spend as much money building a huge PBN and we get to rank more websites with that PBN, which means more income potential for us. So as we kind of, you know, that's what that ratio change actually is really good for our profit margin. So yeah, that's kind of the way I look at it, in addition to just, you know, being a direct answer to what you asked there, Rob. All right, social explosion for both PBN and money site recommended. Yes, I've got them going on both money sites and my PBN as well. All right, Jason, do you have an outsourcer to write your content on your blog pages? Who do you use, by the way? Congrats on your baby. Thanks, Jason. I do most of my own writing, but I have outsourced some of it. Pat Sava, who is an OMGer, is in the group. He's done great writing for me, and I definitely recommend him if you are in a pinch. He does high quality stuff. Been very happy with it. I use it on my money sites and my, you know, blog sites as well. But aside from him, I've done all my own content creation, whether that's, you know, writing blog posts or creating my own videos or whatever. So, all right, CC5, like is, is.gd. This is a shortener I use too. Yeah, exactly. And that's going to be something that will affect the power of that link when it reaches the source. Actually, very often is a positive thing, is a good thing. So, all right, Rob, are you doing your DAS sending PBN links through certain social properties rather than directly linking to your money site? No. I'll back up my PBN post with a domain authority stack, but I typically will link directly from a PBN site, from a post in a PBN, directly to my money site or to a money video if I'm really trying to rank a video. And that will be the last kind of step there. I will sometimes back that post up, that post URL up with a domain authority stack though. And like I said, I don't really talk a heck of a lot just because it's Jimmy's stuff. But the really nice thing is that, you know, come first of the year when we get Director's Cut launched, Jimmy's going to be, you know, able to help us with that content in OMG, which means I get to talk about it in my office hours too. So that's cool. Okay, Rob, when we are creating these links like you just did on your example, should we be doing anything to get those to be found faster, like a link indexing services? I don't do much with link indexing services. I will do those domain authority stacks, which means I kind of link from a couple different places and just give myself more opportunity for those bots to find one of my links and crawl it and figure out what I'm actually, you know, if I've created new content or just that there's some more links that are getting some traffic and some attention for Google to give me some more credit for. I typically do not use anything specifically for indexing though, Rob. Okay, another question from Rob. To elaborate on what you said about using a contextual link or an embedded video as a link back to our videos that we're looking to rank, does one have more power over the other, contextual versus embed? Yeah, contextual are the highest power links, Rob. Embeds are good, but they do not carry as much influence or authority as a regular standard contextual link that exists high on the page, kind of above the fold. If you've got that scenario set up, then that is what carries the most power. All right, Kara, can you please explain suggested bid in Keyword Planner? Thanks. Yeah, suggested bid is going to be something that Google uses to give you an indication of what price you need to be willing to pay to get your ad to be seen by everyone who searches for a given keyword. So it's not always, I'm actually kind of been going through, and this is not necessarily specifically for what we're doing now with OMG, but just another piece of kind of my knowledge of how the works. I'm going through and getting certified for pay-per-click just so I understand more about it. But what it is what Google recommends you bid or be willing to bid to have your advertisement seen by every person who searches for a given keyword in your defined area. So we use it typically to kind of back into pricing for SEO. You know, if they recommend that someone bid $10 per click to get traffic that's available for somebody that wants to do, roll off dumpsters, trash removal kind of stuff, then we would go in as an SEO and say, oh, there's 100 people here every month looking for roll off dumpsters. Google says that traffic's worth about $10 a click. That means you've got about, what is that, $10 times 1,000. You're looking at $10,000 worth of traffic per month if we can collect all those people searching for that. So what we're going to do is say, we're only going to charge you $1,500 a month and make sure that we get you enough traffic that's available there where, you're making money every month on that traffic. And it's cheaper for you to do this than it is to go buy the traffic from Google through pay-per-click. So that's typically how we use the pay-per-click cost or the suggested bid prices in pay-per-click to kind of back into our SEO pricing. Okay. All right, Jason, do you have a Mac or PC? If Mac, who do you use for VPS and GSA? Yes, I do have a Mac, Jason. I've got a virtual private server with Todd at BizBuilder Hosting, and I've also got a dedicated server that's with a company called Hostimus, like hippopotamus, but Hostimus. Both of them work great. I haven't had any issues with any of them. Yeah, the specs on the server from Hostimus were a little bit beefier than what I got from Todd, but I like working with Todd, not only because he's an OMGer and, we, kind of think alike and we have a community, but his customer service is absolutely incredible. If there's ever issues, you can send him a customer support request and it's either him or like one other guy that responds to it. And so he, I assume it seems like he gives us, really good treatment with customer service. I think that Todd does anyway, but I've been pleased with all the money that I've spent on BizBuilder Hosting, and I still have stuff there. So, all right, MB Well, is it worthwhile to set up citations to the My City SEO site if I don't have it tied to a physical address? The citations, what would they have in them, MB Well? It would have kind of your, I guess, your URL, but if it doesn't have a physical address, the citation would just be your name and potentially a phone number. Yeah, there are people who know kind of some of the tricks for even getting listings that do not have a physical address to show up in that 7-pack. I do not know the skinny on exactly how that works. It's certainly not going to hurt if you want to build citations anyway, but I do not have a clear answer for you on that as to whether or not that will be enough to get you ranked, even though you do not have a physical address in that city. There's going to need to be some kind of definition of where you're located, if for no other reason than all of those 7-pack, all those map results are local at the moment. They're not nationwide or anything. So it's going to need to know that the business is close to you before it's going to serve up those results. But there is a way to do it. I've seen it I've seen those searches trigger businesses that do not have an actual street address. So there's some way to do it. All right, CC5, sorry. So now what is a contextual link? Contextual link is just like what I showed you there, CC. If I had a page, let me go see here. If I go to website here, if there's any link in the text down here, I don't know if there is or not. Yeah, I didn't even link out to any, like testimonial on spinal decompression right here. That's a contextual link. It's just a link that's in the text of the site, in the body of the site, within all the wording. These are like menu items. That's a different kind of link. This video down here is an embed. So that's a different kind of link. So those things all come into play. That's just different types of links. They all pass juice though. Oops. Let me I'm gonna kill this because it'll try to play on top of us here. Okay, cool. All right, Rob, for where do we go here? For ranking local videos, can you give any quick detailed list of what you would try to do to rank a new video? Get it embedded on several Web 2.0 sites, whether that's WordPress or Blogger or Twitter, Facebook, business page, those kind of directory sites embedded on a Google Plus page. And then usually that's enough to get it not only indexed very quickly, but give it kind of some authority. Beyond that, though, depending on your keywords that you're going after, videos are usually pretty easy to rank too. It just depends on whether or not Google really wants to have a video on the first page of the search results. For some searches, they love videos. Other searches, they don't. There are times I put a lot of effort into ranking videos for certain keywords, and Google just won't rank them. I get kind of topped out at about 14 or 15 mid-second page. So I think for certain terms that they're just kind of, set on having a non-video first page. Just kind of depends though. All right, Jason, what's a niche that stinks on their website SEO but has high-paying customers? A lot of the stuff in engineering does, Jason. Trying to think of some other ones that really spring to mind. Hunting and fishing, something that I get into. I've got some clients that typically have some pretty bad SEO. They're not even clients that have SEO. They didn't even have websites. But looking at the competition I've encountered there, it's very, very minimal and to the point of being almost non-existent. Pretty easy to rank in those niches. Most of the technical engineering trades, anything in manufacturing, a lot of times is not SEO savvy. The things that are kind of the first order of connection to any info products usually are. So like weight loss pills and all that stuff. Those are just really high transaction. People go to the internet and that's where they're going to go buy their stuff. Things that are further down the line from that typically have less competition and they're just really not on the radar of a lot of online marketers. There's not a lot of online marketers that are going to go out and try to rank for a geothermal drilling rig, to sink a ground source heat pump. But it's a $75,000, ticket price that, there's going to be 20 or 30 people a month getting this type of thing done, across the country. So there's just little things like that, that are kind of technical that usually involve, well, the ones I know of involve things that are not, that there's not a real huge presence on like Amazon or e-commerce or, info products for. Those are just some things that kind of come to mind. All right, Kara, with long tails, do you get credit for any and all the keywords in the long tails individually or just the long tail as it is a whole keyword? Both, Kara. So you'll get most credit for the term, but any just little pieces or combinations of those keywords, like a broad match would be, you'll get credit for that as well. So that's why if we do make some kind of longer anchor text that have, several keywords in them, it gives us kind of, a broader appeal for the keyword influence that we get out of that link. All right, MB Well, there isn't a 7-pack My City SEO keyword right now. So I was wondering if citations help with ranking outside the 7-pack. Yes, but they're not a huge factor. I won't say that they don't have anything to do with it, but they are not really top of the list. Your resource probably better spent, financial as well as just time and attention, into getting some actual links back to your website, back to your city website. Okay, Rob, I think, whoops, this highlighted. All right, Rob, I think I've asked this before, but if we are, I have asked this before, but when, my eyes are getting all crossed on me, sorry guys. But when creating videos based on laser focused keywords, do you yourself make an entirely new video for each keyword? A lot of times I do, Rob. And I do that not only does it have the laser focus for that keyword specifically, but I'll interlink my videos as well. And so I'll kind of tend to, cover a lot of anything I may have missed with the laser focus is going to fall someplace between one laser focus and the other. And if I have those linked together, it seems like I get a lot more traffic and views than I imagined I would. And I can't help but think that's from all the long tails that Google just doesn't even register as there being any search volume for. So it also, from my perspective, I think it's much easier to convert with a very specific focus on a piece of marketing, whether that's a video or some sales copy or just some copy on a page that you're trying to rank. The more specific it is, I think the easier you're going to have getting a conversion out of it, whether it's a phone call or just a click through to the next page or whatever it is. I'm a real big fan of being very specific with content. All right, CC5. Okay, I'm getting my contextual link mixed up with my anchor link. Okay, yeah, contextual link is just kind of where it is, where what the stuff surrounding it is. CC, and then the anchor link is the actual text. So anchor was in the body of copy. Yeah. So anchor, the anchor links, anchor text can be anywhere. Contextual means that they're actually in the body of text that you have. So both have to do with links. One is about the location of link. One is a specific, I guess, piece of how that link is defined. So the anchor text of it. Okay, good question from Rob here. Okay, I made a post in both groups today about a site that's come back from the dead. Ooh, okay. Zombie sites. I appear on page 1 and 2 for a variety of terms, but no terms for the keyword the site was built for. Okay. Site is over-optimized for the main keyword due to the domain being an EMD category titles, all having the main keyword in them. Okay. How can I go about correcting this while preserving current rankings? Okay, so your current rankings are probably going to be due to the fact that you've got some domain authority, you've got some good links, but it looks like, you were just over-optimized. And those over-optimizations, unless you go so far as to get your site de-indexed, those over-optimization penalties will only affect certain keywords. Okay, so that's just a little framing for anybody who is maybe not following along with kind of the details of this question. So if you make changes to kind of give yourself more variety on your URL and your title tags there, Rob, especially with an EMD, I'm trying to think of exactly all the things that are going to happen. You're actually probably going to be better off for those secondary keywords as well. Because what's going to happen is you're going to rank better and get higher click-through rates on your main terms, which is going to give you better on-page SEO for those secondary terms. And those pages that rank for your secondary terms, most likely, not 100% sure just based on the information you give me, but on most of my sites, I actually rank different pages for different terms. So what happens is if I do something that's not quite right with one of the pages and it, seems to be giving me problems, I can't rank it, I go back and change those pages. It does not negatively affect the, the secondary keyword pages that were ranking well in addition to that. So Mile High Plumbing site, if I really wanted to rank for Denver Plumber, but I'd gone really aggressively after that and got myself over optimized, if I was still ranking #1 for Aurora drain clean out, if I went in and tried to modify and rank better for Denver Plumber, in all likelihood, I'd probably not hurt my rankings for Aurora cleaning. So you should be okay with that. All right. Jason, did you know anything about SEO prior to joining OMG? No, I really didn't, Jason. I knew what the term meant, just because, I don't know, I know a lot of that, I guess. And not to be weird about that, but I have a lot of knowledge about a lot of things. So I kind of understood it, and I understood that there were factors involved with, you know, what you need to do to get a site to show up in the search engines. But I'd never done any of it, and I didn't know what those actual pieces of, you know, tweaks and, you know, what all of our variables were. I had no idea. I built a couple websites in WordPress that were for my construction company, and I'd posted some videos on YouTube that, you know, really outside of you know, posting them, I didn't know what to do to get them to rank, actually, as far as descriptions or geotagging or any of that stuff went. So. All right, Jason, not sure if you answered this. Might have missed it. Sorry. I guess you can't do paper lead for Google local since the number can't be tracked. Well, okay, so this is something that I'm not doing yet, just because I just haven't had an opportunity to. But if you were able to set up a Google My Business listing with a phone number that was something you bought from Twilio, there's no reason you could not track those phone calls. There's also no reason Google would necessarily be upset with that. For instance, on my construction company, EcoBuilt Group, right? So if I go over here, new window, and I type in EcoBuilt Group, okay? This is my Google My Business listing right here. This is actually my cell phone number. There's no reason I need to have my phone number, my actual cell phone number here. I could buy a Twilio number, put that in here, and then whenever somebody wanted to call me, I would actually just have records of it, which is a legitimate business use of a phone number, right? Google doesn't say you can't track phone numbers. But what it does say is that you should not create a real business if there's no business there. So there's no reason that you can't do paper lead with the 7-pack, because this will show up for several different terms. I'm kind of working on some rankings for it right now, the 7-pack. But it would be against their terms of service if you were just pretending to set up a legitimate, like, brick and mortar business so that you could rank in the 7-pack for things that you were just selling to somebody else. I guess I'll say that. I'm not saying you can't do it. I am saying it's against the terms of service. So, all right, where do we go here? Jason, will there be more training on paper lead and director's cut? Yeah, most likely, Jason. Joe Marfolio actually taught me quite a bit about paper lead, and he's one of the main contributors to director's cut. I'll continue to be evolving my series as well and adding some new stuff on CallZoo that'll probably come out. It's already the middle of the month almost. It'll probably come out around the first of the year. That'll be just, you know, really for Project J or whatever it evolves into. You know, David controls all our content that way. So, but, you know, David's really liberal updates to, you know, just kind of where our content goes. But yeah, paper lead's something I will continue to evolve and give more training on. You know, if there's any specific kind of, I won't say holes, you know, but things that are just seem to be missing that that you know think you'd benefit, if I can help kind of paint a more detailed picture for, just let me know, because that's something I really want to make sure is I won't say real clear, but that there's enough information for everybody to kind of have their breakthrough on how that would work or could work in stuff that they're doing. So I'm more than happy to continue to create content for us in that stuff. Okay, chat box hopped around on me a little bit. All right, Steve, still working on my city SEO site. So it's not ranked yet. Wondering how to go about approaching customers when I can't show that I rank. I understand the concern, and it's a mindset that many people have, and I'm not saying it's necessarily wrong, but it's incomplete. You're very and not like you're doing anything wrong. I do this a lot myself, but you're very focused on you in that. And in a sales situation, you need to understand the client is focused on them. And I mean, I won't say it's easy, but it happens all the time. People buying something that the other person's not necessarily demonstrated to deliver. I did it. I did deliver it, but I had no sites ranking. I had no experience with SEO, but I knew that the clients I had were comfortable with and familiar with buying leads. And I said, hey guys, I'm going to turn my construction company into a lead generation company now. This is what I want to do. I know what you guys are buying leads for. I know how bad they suck. This is how I'm going to generate them. They're going to be totally unique. They're going to be totally yours. You don't have to fight with a bunch of other customers for these same people. And, this is how it works. You buy 10, 15, 20 up front. And as those continue to come in, we just auto bill, once you've extended your purchase. So, it doesn't necessarily come from you being able to rank that site, and you being able to and you doing it are totally different things as well. I can, bench press 250 pounds doesn't mean I do every day. But if there was a situation where somebody told me I had to, I would probably be able to go do it. So that proof, as much as anything, and this is certainly not just for you, but a lot of people come to me with this same kind of situation. This proof is most likely to prove to yourself that you can do it. And you're probably still kind of in that situation where I'm not really sure I can deliver for my customers. And that's totally fine. If that really is the case, then just work on that breakthrough of understanding that this does work. And you can do it either for your My City SEO site or for some other random site that you're interested in. But just get your belief up and you'll be able to sell it to customers without any problem at all, Steve. Okay. How many images could be too much for a post or a page? And it's over optimization to put same keywords in the title, anchor text on alternative text on images. Yeah, so the alt text is like kind of the hover text. I tend to kind of really be descriptive with that. I don't worry too much about the keywords if I'm doing anything in the alt text on photos. There's not really going to be a situation where you have too many. I have some posts where I have probably 20 or 30 photos in the actual post of the page. And it ranks fine. You just have to, one of the things you have to be mindful of is your compression and how long it takes those pages to load. So when you're looking at photos, I tend to have the file name, something that's, relative or relevant to the keywords I want to go after, at least of the industry or the niche or something like that. And then beyond that, yeah, it's going to come down to title and anchor text for any of those links or embeds. So, okay, Jason, I think there should be more training in OMG on how to approach clients, pricing, contracts, property of follow-up, the reports, clients, etc. Thoughts on this? Part of it's going to be upgraded or expanded significantly with the material that Cotton is going to be responsible for in the director's cut. I definitely am on your side, our side. All of us think this way, that kind of the client side of things is something that it hangs a lot of people up. And especially in something like this where it can be technical and it can be a situation where not a lot of people have experience with sales or B2B, relationships and things like that. That's one of the reasons that, that David identified Cotton for, the amazing talent and knowledge that he has and being able to really share that with us and tailor it for what we do. So yeah, we are definitely moving to include more and more of that from cotton specifically. And, you know, I'm sure other things will evolve. I may wind up doing a little bit more on the paper lead sales and kind of client relationship stuff. But they tend to look very different, whether you're doing SEO monthly or just selling leads. Okay, Steve, can I make a Google business page for my city SEO using my home address, or is that actually something we should keep private? Well, mine's on there, you know, like the EcoBuild. This is my house. You want to, you know, come out to Phoenix, you know where to find me. That's where I live. So my actual, I don't know if this is actually indexed yet. I've just been building it, but this is going to be my, it's kind of a variation of, let's see. Yeah, so I'm on here. Yeah, that's my old orange international travel all. It's my little house here. So this is my city SEO. I'm not going to do it exactly that way, but for lack of a better term, that's what it is. That being said, terms of service wise, again, going back to the Google My Business, you're not supposed to have an address in there unless you do business at your address. I do. As a general contractor, you can work out of your home. And then you can also do technical stuff out of your home as well. So I tend to not worry about that too much, but I probably will rent a space this next year and move my addresses over there. So, all right, Jason, I thought the number had to be consistent among all the citations. Yeah, it would need to be consistent, Jason, but that doesn't mean, like on this, on, you know, EcoBuilt Group, so this number, where is it? Yeah, this number, I haven't built any citations yet. And I haven't built any citations specifically because I intend to change that number out. So as soon as I put a new number on there, I'll build the citations with the new number. It'll just be a number that I have to pay for, you know, $1 a month or whatever, if it's Twilio. Okay, Kara, with money sites and PBNs, what are all the ways we need to protect ourselves? I have who is, do I need to hide IPs, email addresses? Yeah, I'd set up separate email addresses as the administrator on each of your websites as well, Kara. The IP addresses just need to be unique. And, you know, Greg talks about that in all of his hosting issues and all of his hosting videos. So beyond that, you're pretty good at the moment. You know, again, Network Empire folks are definitely on the case of, you know, Google. They read all their patents and things like that. So there will likely be things that change over time, but we just change with it. So at the moment, that's good enough for ranking, keeping yourself, I won't say anonymous, but keeping your footprint down so that you still rank well. All right, MB Well, what is your process for evaluating a given local business website you're trying to rank or compete against in ranking? Really, I look at the links, inbound links, what those anchor texts are saying, what the domain authority and the, you know, kind of trust of each of those links is, if it's, you know, really good or not, you know, some kind of spammy link. Beyond that, really just kind of the website itself and whether or not it's got, you know, good domain authority, a good trust flow from Majestic, or a really high domain authority from Open Site Explorer. Beyond that, I really don't worry about it too much because what we do just pretty much trumps everything. It just becomes a matter of resources. And I still am not super effective at guessing or determining how many resources I'm going to need to rank a certain site. Usually within a, you know, an order of magnitude. You know, if it's going to take 1 to 10, I'm pretty good at understanding that. If it's going to take maybe 10 to 20, yeah, I can probably be about, you know, accurate with that stuff too. So beyond that, though, I tend not to worry about it that much. All right, CC5. No to a 7 to 3 pack unless your biz is actually brick and mortar. Yeah, I would tend to stay away from it, CC. Post just virtual. Yep. Like my site prior to OMG, which is only online. Yeah, I would skip the 7-pack for that, CC, right now. Okay, Rob, thanks for your time, fl1tch. Absolutely, but glad you were on. Hey, Gregory. Hey, fl1tch, great hosting session so far today, picking up tons of golden nuggets. I like golden nuggets. I like chicken nuggets. Thanks, Gregory. Pete, hey, fl1tch, do you have a guide to what you charge for clients in different industries? No, I really kind of tend to do it in a case-by-case basis. You know, with leads, I'm pretty familiar with the value of a customer, and so I kind of tend to price my leads standard, regardless of, you know, location and things like that. You know, I know what a customer that needs to have his water heater replaced is going to be worth, and you know, somebody that needs to have their windows replaced is going to be worth, and stuff like that. So I tend to kind of price my leads very similarly across the nation. And then for the actual clients that I have, it's always going to be based on their keywords, the amount of traffic that Google's telling me there is in those keywords. And then I do something very similar to what Cotton describes as lost revenue, to say, hey, there's this much traffic out there looking for stuff you do, and they are not finding your site. So every month you're losing this much money. I'm going to charge you this much money to get it. It's kind of one of those things where you're just buying money or selling money at a discount. All right, Kara, when using Yoast SEO plugin, how does that title vary from the page title? What is more important? So your page title is going to be what you set in the SEO plugin, Kara. The title that goes up at the top of each of the pages you create, that very first box, that's going to actually become an H1 tag on your page. So when I made this page that we're on today here, okay, this was what I put in that first box. This is actually an H1 tag on my page, OMG Juggernaut fl1tch 12/9/14. Okay, it turns out that I didn't change it, and so it's actually the name. If I scroll all the way over there, it's actually the name of this page as well. So the name of the page and the title of the page are the same. Name of the page is going to affect your URL string up here. The actual title of your page is the SEO plugin, and that's not necessarily going to show up at all as visible. It's just going to be in the HTML code. So if we wanted to go and look at, what browser am I using here? They changed their stuff here. Haven't looked at it. So if I wanted to go look at the HTML, show page source, the actual title tag for this would be shows you how good I am with my title. Joshua Fletcher, online marketing coach. So that's the site title, isn't it? Yeah, looks like it. So yeah, this is going to be my page title up here, or my site title. So hopefully I didn't confuse too much with all that garbledy-gook. But when you create a page, that first box is going to have something that turns into an H1 tag on your page, if you're using a standard theme from WordPress. So that's why you always want to use this plugin or another one and go down and actually set your title, because that title that you set here is going to show up in your HTML, and that's going to be one of the main factors for your SEO ranking. All right, CC Yap, yes, please, per you're doing more on the pay-per-lead side. Would be interesting. Absolutely, cool. Glad to hear that it is interesting and valuable. All right, Steve, I got a Google Voice number for my city SEO. There's something about Twilio that's better. Twilio is just something that a lot of third-party, application developers have used to build off of, as far as like tracking software and billing software and things of that nature. The Google Voice number, I've got one as well, And I know it does kind of keep track of your phone numbers in and out, but I don't know of any ways to go buy 30 of those things and run them through a piece of software that you could keep track of for all your SEO efforts and what sites were generating calls. So from my experience or my knowledge, at least, that's the benefit of the Twilio number over a Google voice number, Steve. All right, Jason, thanks for your time, fl1tch. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Okay, Steve, with paper lead, do you give them credit for the lead just from proving the call came through? No, it needs to be a legitimate lead. I usually make sure that the call's at least 30 seconds. That usually is enough time to say, hey, do you guys do such and such? And they say, oh yeah, we do this, this, and this. Okay, cool. When you can, can I set an appointment to have somebody come out and look at it? Yeah, let me get some information. If it goes to 30 seconds, it's probably a legitimate lead. And so anything over that time I charge for. If for whatever reason, there were a lot of weird phone calls that lasted a while, but they were all solicitors or some random thing that happened. My customer can just get in touch with me and say, hey, check the call records because we had, 15 calls last week and they were all junk. I can go look at them because I record them. So I usually, at the end of the day, if they're going to do that, I just credit them back. It's not worth the hassle or the time for me to have to go back through and say, oh no, actually this is that much. And these people were looking for your service. So that's another reason why it's important to pick the right customers and be pretty selective with the people you choose to work with. It just saves time and hassle. All right, my voice is starting to go on me, guys. So if you do have any last minute questions, try to get them in. Hopefully by next week, this dang thing's gone. Feels like my throat's just coated with unmentionables that do not allow me to sing well. But all right, Steve, cool. Thanks for your time and sharing your knowledge. Absolutely. Steve, Jason, have you ever created a website for a client using a Twilio number to show you generated a lead for them? No, I haven't. I usually don't create websites for clients. I have done a few. I did some web design when I was first starting out. When I say web design, I mean somebody needed a website and I installed WordPress and put a theme on it and customized it and got it looking pretty good or whatever. Situations like that, they were only paying me a few $100, so I really was just trying to get my revenue going and get some experience with it. So in those situations, I didn't put any kind of tracking phone number. But on all of my lead generation sites, I do have a phone number. And, saying that they're for a client, they all are for a client, but I own them all. So you could, though, set up a tracking number and have that specifically for your end client. And just say, hey, this is going to be another benefit of working with me. I'm going to set up call tracking for you so you understand how many calls come in, what your receptionist is actually, saying to them. That's a module that I already know is coming out. I've got, and I'm going to do it. If somebody else does as well, that'd be even better. But we've started working with some of our clients in training their receptionists and their salespeople to answer the phone better and to convert more of their phone calls into new customers. Because most of the time, it is just not a pretty sight. I won't say most of the time. Sometimes it's just not. The people answering the phone are not even tuned in a little bit to conversion and marketing and getting a new customer in the doors. So that's something you can also do in addition to just generating leads. You can say, hey, we're going to generate leads and help you close more of those phone calls by getting, your receptionist or your secretary, whoever's answering the phone call, more aware of what they need to say and how they need to, give information to the people who do call in. So that's a lot more. Hey, here's more found money. Here's 5 phone calls we sent you. This is what the receptionist said to those 5 and why you didn't book one appointment with them. So again, something else that, a business, it's a pain point, definitely a lever that you can use to either close more deals or get a good upsell. So, okay. Would you know if I create a site in Dreamweaver, Adobe CS, then could I then take the HTML and put it into WordPress back source HTML. Curious to know. Yes, I don't think it's as simple as just a cut and paste with the HTML. I know that most of the themes in WordPress allow you to, cut and paste CSS. So a lot of the style sheets, you can do some things that are just cut and paste, but I don't know of any just truly open source themes that you could use, but I don't know what it takes to create an actual theme in WordPress. You may be able to figure out a way to take that Dreamweaver file and convert that to a WordPress theme. So you can just install that HTML and CSS all together, and any PHP that you might have in there too. Okay. All right. CC, thanks, fl1tch. Feel better. Thank you. All right, Kara, thanks for the time and expertise. Hope you feel better and get rid of the unmentionables before next week. Thanks, Kara. All right, CC5, please disregard the BLB pipe. Sorry. Yeah, no worries. All right, Jason, when you charge clients, I assume you roll in fees for Twilio, other tools you're using, et cetera, versus charging client individual. Yeah. I don't nickel and dime all that stuff. It's just in my rate. So, if I was going to charge, $15 per call, and I figure I got $3 worth of overhead, I'd just make it $18 a call, and just say, that's just transactional price, as opposed to, you got to pay this every month, and then each call is going to cost you this much, and if it's over 100, then it's going to go down. And I'm not saying you couldn't do it, but I don't do that. I just have kind of a flat rate per call, and it doesn't, all those other things are just rolled into that single price. Okay, regarding what CC said, I've done this myself a few times before joining OMG. You have to create a site in Dreamweaver and PHP, not in HTML. Okay, cool. It's almost the same thing, and you can use this very helpful guide to convert your Dreamweaver site to WordPress. Cool, Gregory. Thank you. So yeah, it cuts URL. You got to put a space in there, bud, or whatever. And yes, fl1tch, you're right about converting it to a theme. Cool, man. Cool. Yeah, Gregory is much more technically adept than I am. So huge thanks to you on that answer, my friend. Looks like you're outcut. Just Google convert HTML to WordPress and use the Theme Foundry link. Cool. Awesome. I didn't even have to answer anything there. And my rambling actually was halfway accurate. So I'm feeling pretty good about myself. Okay, Anna Lee, let's brew some loose green tea and lemon and honey. Ooh, I like that. I'm a big fan of honey. We got all sorts of local honey down here in Arizona. And we got a lemon tree in the front yard, so they're almost ripe. I might have to do that. It's a good idea. All right, Gregory, great stuff. fl1tch, looking forward to your next session, trying to learn all this fun paper lead things myself. Yeah, I like it. It's a good way to make some money and help some people both. So I'm glad you're getting some good out of that, Gregory. Absolutely, man. All right, Pete, thank you. Thanks for being on, my friend. Yeah, for everybody who's on, these replays, I typically get them compressed and sent over to David. If anything came up and you want to rewatch it, they usually get over to David tonight, and then within the next couple of days, they'll get posted in my office hours session, or in my office hours section. Same with Greg. Usually within a couple of days, they are live again. And then for anyone who did not notice in the OMG Machines news feed today, oops, wrong membership area, I noticed that there is going to be a one of Mike's acceleration webinars coming up here on Thursday. So if you did not register for that yet, you can just click here and sign up for the go-to webinar that Mike runs for that kind of thing. So depending on kind of the day and the week and whatever, they cover a wide gamut of content. Sometimes they're earnings reports and, you know, kind of inside baseball from some of the people who've done well recently. Sometimes it's just kind of Mike's take on conversion or, you know, strategy. Other times they're, you know, third parties who have, you know, a launch coming up and he wants to kind of share that information with you guys too. So definitely try to get on there if you guys have some free time. I'm going to definitely jump on when that comes up. And then beyond that, we're kind of settled into this rhythm probably through the holidays. There may be some kind of fluctuations depending on, you know, whether Greg or myself have any conflicts. But for the most part, I'm pretty sure we're both, you know, kind of settled into our, you know, home life for the holidays, just with kids and stuff. So every week we tend to schedule next week's office hours toward the end of the week. So usually Friday, Saturday, our new schedule will get posted for the following week. Greg typically is running Mondays now. I'm Tuesdays. Sometimes Greg does jump to Wednesday. And then, you know, Mike kind of hops around depending on whether he has somebody else that he needs to work with for schedule or not. So, and then beyond that, I think I just saw a new email come through from Mike too. So I imagine everybody here is on the email list for OMG Machines. Oh yeah, Joe, my buddy. He just, they were down in Costa Rica for much of this last year, just recently came back up to Long Island. So I've been getting a chance to talk to him a little bit more now that he's back in the States. So I'm excited to see what he has to bring to OMG next year. He's a good guy. So, all right, Steve, have a good evening and feel better. Absolutely. Yeah, it's, and, you know, I got a cough. My wife does, our 15-month-old does. So we're just trying to keep the other two girls from getting it at the moment. But I do appreciate it all. Beyond that, though, I do know I've been kind of, you know, out of the group as much as I'm not there as much as I had been in the past, mostly just due to the fact that we had, you know, the new daughter and, you know, kind of had a crazy schedule there for the last 2 weeks or so. But I'll be settling back into the Facebook group. So if you guys do have any questions, best way to get in touch with me is through that. You know, public comment always will draw more attention and maybe even better answers than I can give you. If you want to just make a regular post in the Facebook group. But if you do have any things that are private, may have some URLs that are, you know, sensitive that you don't want to share to the group at large, feel free to send me a personal message on Facebook and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. So, yeah, if anything else, haven't seen any new questions come in for a few minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the recordings here and get over to eat some dinner with the family. So really appreciate everybody's time. Great questions tonight. And then beyond that, just, yeah, best of luck. Holiday season, end of the year, Breakthrough 2015 coming up. So I'm stinking excited. I think I'm probably more excited about OMG now than honestly, than I have been the entire time I've been here. So with the new stuff that's coming up and just the way the team's getting stronger and stronger, it's just really incredible. So I'm happy to be able to be a part of that and experience it with you guys. So beyond that, guys, take care. I will be seeing you in the group between now and next office hours next week. Talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.